Life in Cambodia's poorest slum unfolds in narrow alleys built from scrap wood, rusted metal sheets, plastic banners, and discarded advertising boards, forming a fragile maze beside polluted waterways and railway tracks. This documentary begins by immersing the viewer directly into this environment, using slow-moving handheld shots that capture the raw texture of daily survival. The camera does not rush. It observes. Children run barefoot on muddy ground. Women prepare makeshift meals beside stagnant water, and smoke from open fires mixes with the humid air. The visual design relies heavily on natural light, emphasizing harsh shadows during the day and dim yellow glows at night, which reinforces the reality of living without stable electricity or infrastructure. The performance aspect of this documentary lies in its storytelling rhythm and the emotional honesty of its subjects. There is no scripted dialogue, only real voices speaking about hunger, illness, and endurance. Women play a central role in the narrative, as they are often the primary providers and caretakers. The camera follows them through their routines, from scavenging recyclable waste to preparing food from what others have thrown away. This is not done for shock value, but to highlight the extreme scarcity that defines life here. The pacing allows viewers to absorb the gravity of each moment, making the experience heavy yet necessary. One of the strongest design elements is the soundscape. Ambient sounds dominate the audio, including the clatter of trains, buzzing insects, distant traffic, coughing, and flowing sewage. Music is minimal and used sparingly, allowing the environment itself to speak. When music does appear, it is subdued and reflective, supporting the emotional weight without manipulating it. This choice enhances authenticity and keeps the focus on lived experiences rather than dramatic effects. The documentary also explores sanitation realities without filters. Public defecation is shown as a forced reality rather than a choice, caused by the absence of toilets and clean water. The camera maintains a respectful distance, focusing more on context than explicit detail. Interviews explain how women and children face daily humiliation and health risks, including infections and chronic illness. These segments are handled with restraint, making the information accessible to a wide audience without alienating them. From a technical perspective, the film uses close-up shots effectively to humanize its subjects. Faces lined with exhaustion, hands sorting through trash, and eyes watching trains pass become powerful visual metaphors. Wide shots are used to show the scale of the slum and its proximity to modern city structures, creating a stark contrast between wealth and extreme poverty. This contrast becomes one of the unique selling points of the documentary, reminding viewers how close suffering can exist beside development. Another key feature is the way the documentary frames women's resilience. Despite unimaginable hardship, many women display strength, humor, and community spirit. Scenes of shared meals, mutual childcare, and collective problem-solving show how survival here depends on cooperation. The narrative avoids portraying them as helpless victims, and instead presents them as active agents navigating an unjust system. This balanced portrayal adds depth and credibility to the storytelling. The performance of the narrator, when present, is calm and restrained. The voiceover provides essential context about Cambodia's economic inequality, rural to urban migration, and lack of social safety nets, but it never overwhelms the visuals. Complex ideas are explained in simple language, making the documentary suitable for viewers without prior knowledge of the region. Statistics are used sparingly, focusing more on personal stories to keep the emotional connection strong. Lighting choices further enhance realism. Daytime scenes are often overexposed due to harsh sunlight, while nighttime footage is grainy, reflecting the lack of artificial lighting. Instead of correcting these imperfections, the documentary embraces them as part of the experience. This decision strengthens the feeling that the viewer is witnessing real life rather than a polished production. The documentary's structure flows naturally from morning routines to nightfall, heaving a full-day perspective of life in the slum. Morning scenes focus on survival tasks, like finding food and water. Midday highlights labor and scavenging, and evenings reveal exhaustion mixed with quiet reflection. This time-based progression helps viewers understand how relentless poverty is, leaving little room for rest or hope. A unique selling point of this documentary is its refusal to provide easy solutions. It does not end with charity appeals or simplified answers. Instead, it presents reality as it is, encouraging viewers to think critically about global inequality, consumption, and waste. The focus on women eating discarded food and living without sanitation challenges the audience to confront uncomfortable truths about privilege and neglect. Cinematography remains intimate throughout, often placing the camera at eye level. This choice removes the sense of looking down on subjects and instead creates a feeling of shared space. Viewers are not positioned as observers from afar, but as witnesses standing within the slum. This perspective builds empathy and keeps engagement high across the long runtime. The documentary also highlights health issues subtly. Skin infections, malnutrition, and respiratory problems appear in the background of daily life, rather than as isolated topics. Women speak about children falling sick and the impossibility of affording medical care. These moments are woven naturally into conversations, making them feel organic rather than instructional. Editing plays a crucial role in maintaining balance. Hard scenes are often followed by quieter moments, such as children laughing or women resting by the water. This contrast prevents emotional overload and keeps the audience invested. The lack of fast cuts allows scenes to breathe, reinforcing the seriousness of the subject matter. Language barriers are handled thoughtfully. Subtitles are clear and well-timed, ensuring accessibility without distracting from visuals. The translation maintains emotional tone, preserving the honesty of the speakers. This attention to detail enhances the documentary's reach to an international audience. Overall, the documentary stands out for its raw authenticity, respectful approach, and technical restraint. It does not rely on sensational editing or dramatic narration to convey suffering. Instead, it trusts the power of real stories, real environments, and real voices. By focusing on women's daily struggles with food, sanitation, and dignity, it exposes a hidden reality that many never see. The experience leaves viewers informed, unsettled, and reflective, encouraging deeper awareness of how poverty, waste, and inequality intersect in one of the most overlooked corners of modern Cambodia.